Good evening, Dr. Brady Bryce. And my context of ministry was house churches. The Barna Research Group said that in 2014, 2015, more than house churches have increased up to 40%. So believers are leaving traditional settings to go into private settings, smaller settings, so that they can have relationship where they can worship and they can experience that kind of freedom in their style of worship. So that was my context. My context was to study the impact of house churches in the life of those believers. So that was my context. What motivated me was, as I said, was to see how this movement is really touching the spiritual life of Christians. Like, for example, in terms of their prayers and in terms of their daily Bible studies, because I believed prayer and Bible study are two essential things that Christians must do every day. So that was my thing. And because of that, I came with my question. My research question was, how have your prayer life and Bible study changed since you joined the house church? That was my research questions. So, and the motivation behind this research question was to get the feedback of these young men and women from these two house churches. The first house churches was the Thursday house churches, which is mainly men, and that house church, I've started that house church with a partner, with my second site supervisor. And the second house church was started by Dr. Gary Green, your colleague, 13 years ago, and I've been a member of that house churches for a year and a half now. So, but the good things with the Sunday house churches, because it was new, there were like 6 older members part of that house churches. So it was an interesting time to study these 6 older members, to get feedback from them and to get feedback from the new members. So, yeah, the people are very nice. They're really nice, and the men, there's the one, they're very nice, very open, not shy. They want to share their life. They want Christ to come into them. Sunday one, similar things. They a kind of family style. The relationship is established, is getting stronger. I've not had any issue with none of them. In fact, I was welcome because I'm part of those 2 groups, and the leadership is different, because these 2 house churches, the first house church is more charismatic, the second house church is more Church of Christ. So the leadership similar but different. My second site supervisor is more charismatic, so it means he emphasizes more on prayer and the gift of the Holy Spirit. My first site supervisor is more Bible study, relationship, and other things of the Lord's Supper. So, in terms of learnings, I learned a lot of things. How to be, first of all, like that in house churches is not about leadership. Is not like in a traditional setting. Leadership in house churches, like everyone is equal, and second thing in house churches is very easier to know people, to get connected. Third one is like in house churches, it's easier to share your life. And fourth, in house churches, it's easier to build connection, to be family, and this was my learning. So in terms of future exploration, I would like to do a similar research again in a year time, in these two contexts to see how, especially in the Sunday house church, how it has improved. So I would like to do a similar thing. What are we, as a new action, like for my ministry or the ministry that God is calling me, looking forward, my wife and I, my future wife and I, to establish house churches in this nation and wherever God sent us, you know. And I'm going to take from both sides, prayers, gift of the Holy Spirit, like the pneumatology, and the other side I'm going to take up in terms of Bible study, Lord's Supper, meal, and from both sides, relationship. So that was a little bit in summary of my house church, of my context of ministry. Sorry, my context of ministry. Thank you very much, Dr. Brady Bice, for allowing me to immerse myself in those two contexts, and I pray that future students might do the same research I did. Thank you.